Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome in general. My name is Alex and today's video is gonna be a kind of different video for me. Literally months ago, like last fall, I filmed a video titled 10 palettes for fall or something similar to that, and I just pulled out a bunch of palettes I already own and I showed them and spoke about them and why this would be good. And I wanted to do that video again, but I wanted to do it for spring because I feel like spring is such a beautiful season. Everything is blossoming, everything is blooming, everything is beautiful, and I just wanted to pop out some palettes that a lot of you might have already or might want or already have and didn't think about using them, or have similar shades in other palettes that you can use. You don't have to go out and buy all of these. That's not the purpose of the video. The purpose of the video is to hopefully just inspire you to either A, pop out old palettes you haven't popped out in a while, or B, pop out these palettes that you have sitting somewhere and you're just like, I need a new palette for spring. No you don't, you got them. I'm like that too. Alrighty, so I'm gonna do this in like a way where it might make sense. So I got affordable and like medium category, and then I got like a discontinued limited edition category, you know, because some of that happens. But I'm gonna start with that because this is probably the most disappointing part if you don't have these, but a lot of you I know do have these. So I actually have a review on this palette. This palette is the Candy Skies from Floral. I would appreciate it if you didn't go find that video though, because it's so bad. But perfect spring eyeshadow palette right here, and if you have it and you're just like don't use it, pop it out and use it because it is the perfect eyeshadow palette for spring. The formula in here is gorgeous. I really wish Floral would just release it again for the springtime, you know. But Erin and Laura did an amazing job with this palette, and they released 2 glosses with it, and it was just this beautiful collection, and I remember just really loving that entire collection. I'm popping this out for the springtime because this is like my favorite pastel eyeshadow palette, and every time a new one drops on the market I'm just like, is it gonna be better than my Candy Skies? Is it gonna be better than that? Because I don't think it is. The next palette you might be able to still find, but as far as I looked, it's being discontinued, and that is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. I bought this with a gift card. So thank you for getting me that gift card, because if not, I wouldn't have been able to buy this. And I'm glad I did because it's not available anymore. So I actually have a look with this palette on my channel. It's like a testing new makeup out, and I use this palette because it was new to me and I had never tried Huda's formula, and it's beautiful. These colors are perfect for the springtime. You got pops of color everywhere, you got neutrals, you got dusty colors, perfect pastel-y colors, and just this is a palette you can use year-round, not only for spring, and it's just something really nice to have. Alright, moving into affordable palettes, and then we'll get into more expensive. I have the Beauty Bay Love Notes palette. I don't know if this is available, but I should check. It is. And it's on sale for $14, which is a steal. It's filled with pinks and purples, and it reminds me of just flowers blossoming. And I know this was a Valentine's Day palette, but Valentine's Day aside, these colors work for spring. You get neutrals in here as well, and I just think it's a very nice balance between pinks and purples. I think it's beautiful for the springtime, and also a palette you can use year-round as well. I also have a review on this palette, so I will be linking these videos as they come. I have videos on most of these, so if you're interested in just watching a review on them, you can, and that's what's great about having a YouTube channel. The next palette is a recently released eyeshadow palette, and take this with a grain of salt because this is a neutral eyeshadow palette with some pinky neutrals in here as well. It screams spring because of this outer packaging, and Manny knew that when he made this palette. Now this has been something I've popped out so many times since I've gotten it, and it's just his formula is so amazing. And I know this palette is a little pricier, but the shimmers are stunning. The mattes blend out amazingly, and it's great quality. I can always trust Lunar Beauty's formulas to be impeccable, and I loved this collection. The whole collection was beautiful. So that's another great palette you can use. However, if you don't want to go pick this up, I understand. It's a neutral palette. We probably have a million neutrals. Pop out your neutrals and wear them with pride this springtime, because neutrals can also be spring, you know? I still have this one in the box. I don't know why, but it's in the box. We'll take it out right now. We don't need the box. The next palette I have to share is the Ace Beauty Floral Vintage palette, and the packaging just screams spring, okay? And the inside, you expect this to be like super colorful, but it's actually not really. It's inspired by like flowers and like every plant like known to man, like cherry blossom, buttercup, golden orchid, hibiscus, tropical hibiscus here, dandelion. Like it's just a bunch of flowers, and like that's what's so spring about it. But I've seen this palette available on the BoxyCharm pop-up shop for a very decent price. The palette itself is actually stunningly beautiful, and I've actually used this more than once. The brand Ace Beaute has amazing formulas and shimmer formulas, and I'm excited to use this springtime. And now we're getting into the Colourpop section, because I do have a Colourpop section, because I know if you're like me, a lot of us be buying these Colourpop stuff, you know, because they're so cute, and you can't the FOMO and the like, I want it and like I feel it. Okay, I got you. We're gonna talk about some old, some new Colourpop releases. So let's talk about some new first. I just reviewed this actually. This isn't a traditional spring palette in my opinion, more so one that's just springy to me, I guess. These shades are so cute, although some people would argue and say that it's a fall palette. I don't think so. I think it's like a 100 Acre Wood vibe palette, you know? Like woodsy, and that can be spring. I think if you have this, you're gonna be popping it out a lot for the springtime, because it's just so perfect, and it's also really nice and compact to travel with. There's no mirror in here, and it's just something that's super just cute, you know? And I know a lot of us bought this because this is one of those palettes that just sold out really fast, which we can only hope that Colourpop is gonna restock this collection. The next palette is one that came out maybe like a year ago. The Lizzie McGuire and Colourpop What Dreams Are Made Of eyeshadow palette. I feel like this can be either spring or summer, but I be popping it out for both. These colors are beautiful, and the greens in here got me. Like these shades aren't really like calling my attention too much. The greens are impeccable. Like I love Lizzie McGuire, and I loved watching Lizzie McGuire as a kid, and I know that Lizzie McGuire was like way before me. I used to watch the Lizzie McGuire like reruns, so I think I still have a connection to it, and I still love this palette. It's so pretty, so like 2000s Y2K vibes is all the rage right now, you know? I also wanted to mention that this palette is still available on Colourpop's website to buy right now, so if you are interested in the Lizzie McGuire Colourpop palette, then you can still buy it. The last palette I want to talk about is the Sailor Moon eyeshadow palette. This was the best thing ever. I remember this sold out like so many times. This is the perfect spring palette. Pop it out, use it. I used to use mine like a lot, okay? You can tell these have been dipped in a lot, and then at one point I was like, this is a limited edition, girl. Gotta stop dipping it in, you know, I'm gonna like run out. But I love this yellow over here. It's so pretty. Pastels have like a shimmer to them, which is so Sailor Moon. There's a Super Shock in here and a glitter. I don't use the glitter, I use Super Shock. Okay, the Super Shock is actually super pretty in here. And then you get some like neutral peachy shades on the top. So cute. This palette is also still available on Colourpop's website, so if you're a Sailor Moon fan or you just really like these tones, it is still available to be purchased, which I think is interesting for Colourpop. They're usually sold out of everything. And yeah, those are 8 eyeshadow palettes that I think you should pull out for spring. My top 8 eyeshadows for spring this year, and I want to do these each season because I feel like we forget what we have. You know, we be buying all these launches, spending all this money, and then like we just toss it aside and use something we already have in our drawer just because it's convenient. No, 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 no. You're gonna pop out your old colorful springy eyeshadows and you're gonna use them. I think it's great to switch out your eyeshadow palettes. I have like a little rack, and then I have a shelf, and like all of them are on the shelf, and then I just like switch them in and out, which works for me, but might not work for you. But I'm just saying that's what I do. Let me know what eyeshadows you're popping out for spring. Doesn't have to be these, can be any eyeshadows or makeup products. Let me know what you're loving. And that is it for me. That is today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more of these types of videos from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. And these colors are perfectly perfect. You know, popped. You know, I don't know why I'm like this. And the brand Ace Beaute, we forget that what